This is my 2002 Mercedes Sprinter medium wheelbase dual fuel from factory, which makes it a very rare vehicle because this actually came from Mercedes with the same 2-litre petrol engine that was in the AMG C-Class of the time, converted to LPG from factory. Prices are high at the moment, and I think I'd spent 80p a litre, which is near enough half of what it is for petrol at the moment. And that's just down here. You've got the little switch down here to go between petrol and your normal petrol tank and your LPG, which is great for doing longer trips and also having that backup. So I wanted to start in the cockpit or the cab, depending on what you wanted to call it, just because I can tell you a little bit of the history of this vehicle. So this is basically a bit of a Frankenstein between two Mercedes Sprinters. The donor vehicle to this was my original conversion. There was too many issues with the vehicle to really warrant it, and I bought it as a part project myself, and I wanted to do something from scratch. So when that engine gave up the ghost, I decided to get another Mercedes Sprinter, and this is very much a combination of those two vehicles in many aspects that I'll go through during the video. But to start off with is the cockpit, the cabin. I think you would struggle to find a better example of this vehicle on the internet for sale at the moment as a base model for whatever you want to do with the conversion. This really is the best that you're going to find in the condition for its year, I believe, because I was very militant with this. Anything that I thought was better condition got swapped over. So as a result, you've got a cockpit that is everything functioning, every vein in these that normally go, the paper clip, everything is here. Not a hole in any of the dashes. I had to make a plan with some of the these are renowned for pushing through these little blanks. But everything is present and functioning, including electric windows and electric wing mirrors. What else can I tell you about the vehicle? It is a 5-speed transmission. We're just a little bit over 63,000 miles, coming up 164,000 miles on it. I bought the vehicle from a farmer, which explains the miles, because, I mean, again, with the cockpit, and the reason why they're so often in bad condition is these vehicles are used and abused, and it's a 21-year-old vehicle. So I do give that caveat without this vehicle is it's good for its age. You will be buying a vehicle that is going to continually need maintenance and looking after, but that's part of the charm of it, I guess, and why it is such a cool old vehicle. Real head turner. Everywhere I drive, I seem to get nods on the motorway, and yeah, she's cool to drive around. She's like her own little celebrity. But going back to where I bought the vehicle from, I bought it from a farmer, so it had really low miles, not a great deal of damage or body. It was kept in a barn, so the bodywork is good again for its age. The only thing was it was a bit dirty, so any bits that were scuffed, any bits that were dirty, I swapped over. So sound system and rear view mirror. So I've wired in a camera rear view mirror that works off of the reverse light. Sound system is very good in here. You've got little tweeters on the side, as well as some mid-ranges in the dash. There's a sub under the seat, and there's also a microphone there for your Bluetooth connectivity with your phone and taking calls. I also decided to add some wiring for some 6x9s with an underseat sub for putting 6x9s up behind your head. So it's already a very good sound system, and it can be upgraded quite easily further with just the cabinetry accommodating some 6x9s when it gets to cabinetry. The seats have a load of movability on them. This one has a lumbar pump, captain's armrest on this side. Very comfortable to drive, sits at 70 very easily. Like I said, obviously she's not taking much weight at the moment, but I have had weight. She has been used as a workhorse during the time that I've been converting her. And yeah, I suppose a bit more of the backstory. Why am I selling her? I'm an aircraft engineer up at Heathrow. I've lived in a camper for more than 6 years. I bought this van as a conversion project, which I've really done with no expense spared, and I've got receipts to back that. Anything that's gone wrong, I've chucked money at it, and I've said, well, I need a good foundation. So that's basically where the vehicle is at. It's a good foundation, and the next step is continuing with the insulation. I've already done the ceiling insulation in the camper van part, the rear part. Onto next is the floor area. But we've had a real nail in the coffin recently in that there's been ULEZ brought into my work area. So what that means is I've got quite an expensive bill having to drive this to work while I'm up there. So for areas that this doesn't affect, this is a perfect vehicle for you, but it was a bit of a nail in the coffin for me with something that was going to cost me so much more per month to use at work. So really, you could be picking up a great base to convert this summer. Okay, well, let's jump out and I'll show you outside the vehicle. Okay, so we've got the big BFG tyres on there, as well as the Fox alloys on there, the commercial van rated shocks. You've obviously got this really lovely Raptor lining all around the vehicle. I put this on the vehicle just because it's a really hard wearing paint. It's designed for truck beds, and with these vehicles being renowned for being rusty, I thought that it was a good place to cover all metal. So one of the things that also got taken out of the old van when I was swapping bits over were the double leaf springs on the back of the vehicle. Now, it does look a little bit tail high on the ride height of the vehicle, but I did have some aggregate in the back of the vehicle recently which shows a ton in the back. Only a ton. I can imagine a build could be more than a ton, just to show it taking the weight, as well as what the ride height would look like with that weight in there. But we've obviously got the side ladder going up to the top, where we've got 250 watts of solar. We've got those openable max fan roof vents, which are really great for having one as exhaust, one as an inlet, and letting that air circulate. The van does come with a charge controller for the MTTP solar charge controller, as well as it is a smart DC-DC charger from the alternator. So if you wanted to upgrade the system to lithium, you could do it quite easily. It's set up for that. If you needed it to. Yeah, I think that's the outside of the vehicle. Let's go back inside the car and I will show you what's been done inside. So, other than these max fans up here, which I've already said are very good, we have done sound deadening. We've had 4 openable windows fitted, as well as factory fitted the 2 static windows at the back there. There's the LPG cylinder for the dual gas. It does take up a little bit of room, granted, but it can be worked around. And for me, having that fuel efficiency and added fuel capacity for longer trips was more of a pro than it was a con. It also helps having it inside, so that you've got more usable gas in cold conditions. The sound deadening has been carried out throughout. Started doing some of the wiring, obviously, for the external bits and bobs, because that's the stage it's at now. You need to do all of your hole cutting before fitting the insulation. So there's a awning light that's been fitted. We've got, like I already said, got our 4 external windows. The side window is also an openable one. There's our solar coming down to the charge controller. So like I said, this is one of these MTTP hybrids with a split charge relay for the alternator. But it isn't just a normal split charge relay, it's a DC-DC charger, so you can use it with lithium if you wanted to upgrade the system. But it does come with a brand new 80 amp hour branded leisure battery. So everything that is hooked up in here electrically, including the max fans, are going, including a 12 volt what's it called again? Lighter socket that side. And a fuse board for you to easily add any additional electrics. It's all fused, it's all, yeah, good to go. Bluetooth adapter on there, remote for the max fans. So I thought it'd be easier to do a quick video with the van empty so that you can, you know, obviously see all of the bits that it comes with and what's been done so far. I'll tell you where I've left it up to and where you'd probably want to continue, and then I'll start bringing the bits that the van comes with. Obviously, being a part project, that's one of the bonus. You get loads of bonus parts, and then I think that might be us. So where I was at is I started the insulation, so I've done the insulation over the loft up till there. The reason I stopped there is you can see I've made a cutout for there being a walkway between the two front seats. So I was going to do the cabinet, the carpentry work up there before doing the insulation, just because, you know, it'd be easier. You've got the option of leaving it open and having a curtain or whatever. My intention was to have a fixed panel on the right hand side, or actually a fixed panel either side, and then a sliding door in the middle, because I intended to have this as basically a big insulated box in the back for seeping in all weather conditions. But you might decide to have it differently. And as you can see, it's exactly where you want it to be in terms of having the free reign of putting your own design in here. The intention with the height of the smaller windows along the side was there was going to be a bed across the back. Just below those windows, so you had airflow across the bed, and then some, you know, a garage area underneath. This was going to be my kitchen area, so again, the reason for the smaller window there would be for a sink splashback, and this is where the sink area is going to be. Okay, so obviously it's a 21-year-old vehicle. It can't all be roses, Jack. What's going on? What's the bad bits? There has to be some bad bits. Now, the MOT did flag an advisory for this front left wheel arch rusting. I'll do a quick sweep of all of the arches, door seals, just so you can see where we're at with that. It will come with a pot of touch-up paint that is the same colour as when I Raptor lined it, as well as you having the colour, so you've got that for your own future reference. But for the age of the vehicle, this is honestly in fantastic condition, and you can obviously see that from the sweep that I've done of all of the lower door trims and the arches, which are the areas where it's renowned for rusting on the vehicle. There's a little bit of a niggle with one of the locks in the central locking system, and it throws it out. You know, I've lubed them and done all the usual things, but I've just found that there's just a fault that I've lived with in the time that I've had the vehicle, and it's just a 2-lock, which I'll show you quickly now. That's just something that I've lived with the vehicle. We do also at the back have an issue with the lock. The lock is broken at the back and it won't receive a key, but luckily I do have a spare from the old van which will come with the vehicle. It's all the original locks on the vehicle as present. I'm just going to give you the extra parts. Now, areas where money's been spent on this vehicle. So, LPG runs hotter. Another thing where the LPG vehicle had a disadvantage, even though it's got the huge fuel economy advantage, was the head gasket going. Unfortunately, that's what happened to my old one. I decided that it was not worth repairing, but I was too far down the road with this one, with the money that was spent, and I decided to get the head gasket re-skimmed and sealed about a year ago now. Yeah, it was just over a year. Actually, no, it was 2 years ago. I'd have to look at the receipt, but I've got it all documented. Good bit of money was spent rebuilding the engine, and to give it added protection from it happening again, there's basically a centrifugal clutch for the standard fan on the engine. I, through my troubleshooting, found that this wasn't working as well as it should. And that's also like another little noise that you can hear under the bonnet. I've added an additional electric fan that's running straight off the battery so that you've got that additional airflow. So even if you are in slow moving traffic, you've got constant airflow going over that radiator and keeping the engine protected. So you've got a rebuilt engine, added protection on the cooling front. I mean, for a 2002 vehicle, 21 years old, it really is in fantastic condition. And obviously viewings are very welcome, and I really encourage people to come around and do viewings. I'm trying to do a video as descriptive as possible, so at least anybody coming from further afield has a better understanding of the vehicle rather than just 12 pictures on eBay. With that, the vehicle is going to be posted on eBay for bids, as well as being advertised elsewhere. I am open to sensible offers, but that's obviously within the time frame of the bids. Other than that, it will be the highest bidder winning. 160,000 miles, really in fantastic condition, inside and out, for its age. It is a really solid base for anybody who wants to do a conversion. I'm gutted to see it go. I really am. But it's one of those things that unfortunately has to happen, and it just became unaffordable for me to continue the project while I've got all of this legislation stuff going on in London and having to pay £12.50 a day for ULEZ. It doesn't affect me where I live now. It won't affect the vast majority of people around the UK, and it really is a fantastic project. I'm going to be losing money on it, I know. I am probably going to put a reserve price in of just the bits that are attached. Go on Parkers, find the price of the vehicle as standard. Add, you know, the bits like the solar system and the max fans that are in, and have that as my reserve. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing her go to a good home and for the project to be continued. So let's do a cold start. Let's open the window so you can hear. See, the temperature is low, and we'll keep it there for a bit just so you can see it starting up from cold. I thought it'd be good to record a video of the documentation that the vehicle will come with. So we've got the original handbooks and original spare key. The V5, obviously you'll get your slip for that when you purchase it. The vehicle only ever came with one MOT, but I've kept record of all of my MOT since having the vehicle, but it's all available electronically anyway. There is the fitment installation guide for the fan system and controller that was fitted. And then loads of receipts of basically proving the works that have been carried out to the vehicle that I'd said during the course of the video. So I have kept good record of the documentation that came with the vehicle when I bought it, as well as keeping good records myself. And even down to this one receipt that I managed to get when I bought the vehicle. Window blinds, some magnets, the original wheel arch covers, the original ply lining for stencils, 2 full sheets of 25mm Kingspan insulation, offcuts of some 50mm Kingspan insulation, 105 litre fresh water tank, a Fiamma 12-volt water pump, some lighting, latches, conduit, and whatever you want to call them. 3 overhead cabinets with locks that stay when you're driving. The max fan shrouds and spare remote. Spare fluid caps for the engine bay. A box of 60mm stick pins. Touch-up paint. The original ABS pump. 2 6x9s and boxes. A gas locker with vents. All the manuals and parts from the battery charger. Light bulbs and spare bits from the old van. 4 bales of safe insulation made from cycled bottles. 1, 2, 3, 4. The aluminium parts to finish the roof rack. including a rail for the awning. Some flexible curtain rails, window deflectors, a replacement aerial, cards to reupholster for the side doors if you wanted fabric on them, jack with breaker bar and tool set.